We have our president coming here and giving us a quick 5-minute press conference here today. Let's check it out here, Joe Biden. And this is what's so interesting. Before I bring this up, this is what's so interesting. They ask him, can you assure Americans that there won't be a ripple effect? What an incredible coincidence that the little startup company out of San Francisco that is developing on the World Reserve digital currency XRP in the middle of an SEC lawsuit is called Ripple, a company that is continuing to grow on-demand liquidity outside of the United States, described like wildfire by a senior software developer at Ripple. Don't take it from me, take it from them. Growing like wildfire outside of the United States. Okay, check, fine. And we see from the data that that is confirmed. 9 times year-over-year growth on-demand liquidity in the middle of a liquidity crisis, and every single person is put in that ripple effect. Are there going to be ripples while the ripple effect's being spread throughout the system? What a strange coincidence. And what does Joe Biden have to say? They ask him, can you assure Americans that there won't be a ripple effect? Do you expect other banks to fail? And we have Biden. That was the end of the press conference, walking away and shutting the door. Okay. Mr. Biden did say last week that the economic plan is going according to plan. Okay. Everything's fine. The Treasury Department, Janet Yellen, tells us it's all good. Now we got the backstop. It's not a bailout. Remember, guys, definitions matter. We don't want to offend anybody. This isn't called the bailout. It's called the backstop. That's the new term for bailout. And we know that they have changed the laws for the bail-ins. I got the FDIC meeting clip coming up because we got to remind everybody of what was being talked about and what's been exposed. Our own FDIC talking about the systemic risk that we're now seeing unfold as we speak. Check it out for yourselves. This is what we've been watching. This is what we've been warning about.
It's really important. I mean, it's a little bit conflicted, right? I mean, it's important that people understand they can be bailed in, but you don't want a huge run on the institution. But they're going to be.
People need to know, but I don't think you have much hope of reaching a public that doesn't have a professional need to know.
I completely agree with that. I almost think you'd scare the public if you put this out. Like, why are they telling me this? Should I be concerned about my bank? Like, my insurance company doesn't tell me what they're doing with my assets. If they just assume they're going to pay my claim, right? I think you've got to think of the unintended consequences of taking a public that has more full faith and confidence in the banking system than maybe people in this room do. So there's a select crowd of people that are in the institutional side. And if they want to understand this, they're going to find a way to understand this. There's a bunch of law firms represented in this room. There's a bunch of people that charge them by the hour a lot of money to explain this all to them. And it's fine. I don't have a problem with that. And they all have huge staffs. But I would be careful about the unintended consequences of starting to blast too much of this out in the general public.
Yep. Don't let the general public know about this. And then we have a United States senator suggesting that we should censor this conversation. We shouldn't be allowed to have this conversation in a country that is founded upon the idea of free speech. Truly incredible. And if they're there, I understand fractional reserve banking, but maybe that's the problem. Maybe the underlying currency, the US dollar, is the problem. Maybe the underlying 30 trillion in debt plus 100 trillion plus of unfunded liabilities, the debt crisis is the problem. Okay? So no matter what you want to call it, bank runs, bailouts, now they're backstops. When you listen to the FDIC, the people who are in charge of insuring our bank deposits, talking about the systemic risk in this way, can we have a little bit of concern? I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.